we have new video just in of a Tesla Cybertruck that police say was intentionally detonated outside of the Trump International Hotel in Las Vegas. This is, as of this morning, being investigated as a possible act of terrorism.
As of right now, our number one goal is to ensure that we have the proper identification of the subject involved in this incident. Following that, our second objective is to determine whether this was an act of terrorism or not. I know everybody's interested in that word and trying to see if we can say, hey, this is a terrorist attack. That is our goal, and that's what we're trying to do.
All right, CNN Chief Law Enforcement and Intelligence Analyst John Miller is with us. CNN Law Enforcement Analyst and former Secret Service agent Jonathan Wackrow is with us. We're going to dig into a lot of different things right now. John, first, just what's the latest on the Las Vegas investigation?
Well, the Las Vegas investigation is taking an interesting turn as they get deeper into the profile of the individual who rented the vehicle. Now, let's go full stop here for a second. They believe they know who rented the vehicle, but they are not 100% certain that that is the person who's in the vehicle, because that body, because it's badly burned, has not been identified. But the renter, like the New Orleans suspect, is military background, but not former military. He's active duty military with 19 years plus of service, and he's part of Special Forces Command. He is highly trained in communications, electronic measures for bomb detections, intelligence operations. He would be one of the most sophisticated, in terms of training, people in the Green Beret.
Okay, just so we're talking about these two different things, the similarities are both rental electric vehicles from this Turo place, both military backgrounds, explosives in both trucks. Both attacks happened on New Year's in tourist locations.
That's right, and that is why they say we can't eliminate the possibility that they're connected. And yet, if you look at New Orleans, where he does 5 recordings apparently in the dark as he's driving, towards Louisiana from Texas, he's talking about family problems, financial problems, his life coming apart at the seams, and that he's joined ISIS, and that's why he's doing this. If you look at Las Vegas, so far, it appears that they don't have communications or a clear motive from the individual who's in that truck.
All right, so Jonathan Wackrow, right now we have warrants being executed in New Orleans at Airbnbs, in Houston at the home of the New Orleans attacker, I guess in Colorado at the home of the person tied to the rental vehicle in the Las Vegas attack. We're 24 hours in. What's taking so long here in this search process?
Well, the search process needs to operate in different phases. One, you have to actually go to the court to get those warrants themselves. You have to swear out in front of a magistrate and make sure that the legal process and the legal justification for going into these locations is validated. From there, it's not like what you see on television where the police just rush in and look for items of evidentiary value. What they actually have to do is, because we have explosives that are involved here, you have to first make sure and focus on officer safety and scene safety. So what's going on is explosive technicians are going into these sites first, not looking for items of evidentiary value, but ensuring that there's no primary explosives, that there are no booby traps, that it is safe for the investigators to go in and then conduct a very methodical search for everything that's on that warrant and anything that's within plain sight that is of evidentiary value that can be used to then piece together, to really find a motive and the intent for these different attacks.
And again, one of the things John Miller pointed out right there, in New Orleans, you do have this trail of radicalization. Mm-hmm. In Las Vegas, we don't even have a name yet, so we don't have anything like that just yet.
Yeah, we don't have a name, and we also, like, the targeting locations of both are different, right? Because one, you had a known event, you had, it is a target of opportunity, it's a soft target, where you knew from a targeting standpoint that if I launched an attack there, the likelihood of high casualties was going to be there. The secondary at Las Vegas is a different construct. 9:40 on, or 8:40-ish on New Year's morning in Las Vegas.
That's a good point.
Not a lot of people there, so you're not really launching an attack. While it is an iconic site, it is a site because it is the former it's
the Trump Hotel.
Trump Hotel. That there is significance there, but in terms of causing damage. And then the second part of that, and John and I were talking beforehand, is what we know potentially of the driver of the Cybertruck with the military background. using low-order explosives, basically gasoline and black powder pyrotechnics, is not going to give you the blast radius that you need in the overpressurization to cause damage to the building or damage to others nearby.
Also, something about the behavior of the truck beforehand, John, you were talking about?
Well, he gets into town, and there's a combination of things. License plate readers that track him through Las Vegas from the moment he enters town, but also from Tesla, every place he stopped driving from where he started in Colorado Springs to charge that vehicle till he gets to Las Vegas. So they've got a good timeline. He spends about an hour driving around the Strip. He stops at a motel along the way for a period of time, but an hour before the explosion, he enters that driveway with his vehicle and does a slow pass around past the valet people and everything. And you have to ask yourself, what's he doing? To Jonathan's point, is he saying, it's 7-something in the morning and there's not a lot of people here. I'm going to come back in an hour and see if there's a bigger crowd. Or is he just doing his reconnaissance as a military operator would, which is, who stops you where am I going to place this so it's going to be, so the Elon Musk vehicle is going to be right under the Trump sign. We don't know what the symbolism that they were going for in this attack was, but I mean, they're looking at all of that. The idea that he drove through an hour beforehand is suggestive.
So we were 24 hours into this. I mean, almost literally in the Las Vegas thing, a little bit more in New Orleans. What do you think the next big piece of information will be, or what's reasonable to expect that we could learn soon?
Well, we're going to start getting information from these search warrants, right? And we're going to start understanding, from the localities of, both attackers, their residences in Houston and other locations, what can we garner from that, right? And I think, we have more information, more direction with the New Orleans attacker as opposed to Las Vegas right now. But that will change once we, identify the body, once we get these items of evidentiary value, we start piecing together, and trying to, figure out what is the motive here, what is driving both of these attacks, and are they connected? We have some threads here of connectivity, but again, the way that these attacks were launched, to me, signals some sort of differentiator.
I mean, how long could it take in Las Vegas to get some kind of confirmation one way or the other of ISIS ties, which I think would be hugely significant?
Well, if ISIS is going by its own playbook, they would have, if they recruited these people online, they would have obtained martyrdom videos from one or both of them. We've got clues from the self-made videos from the New Orleans attacker, which tells us a lot, but nothing yet from the Las Vegas piece. But ISIS could come out with their own communique if they're connected that way, or we could see something completely different. I mean, as Jonathan points out, there's two critical factors here, which is, who are they working for, if anybody? How were they recruited? The second factor is, who else might have been involved? We're seeing signs of that in Las Vegas, in New Orleans. We're not seeing signs of that yet in Las Vegas.
I got to say, this was a great discussion. Leaving it with more questions in some ways and answers and perhaps bigger unknowns than I anticipated. We'll check back in with you throughout the day. Obviously, a lot more to learn here.